You want to learn about Hanukkah?
Yes.
Hanukkah is a good thing to learn.
So it's a very good time to pray for the learning of your children. Like as you're lighting the first candles, it's a very good opportunity time to pray for the...
It says, Harogel bener. A person is rogel. A person is very, very particular about his candles, referring to both Hanukkah candles and Shabbos candles. Havye bonim talmidei chachamim. His children will be scholars, sages. Doesn't just mean to light the candles, but it means to daven, to pray for your children by your Shabbos candles, by your Hanukkah candles. We're all going to be lighting very, very soon, my dear friends, right? Amen. We're going to be lighting also with oil. Light with oil. Shane, this is all for you. To light with oil and to stay by the candles for at least half an hour. At least. You know, the tzaddikim would stay for a very, very long time by their candles. And it wasn't like, let's light and, shoot me over a quick sufgan. Sufganiya. Just boom. Pop that one in there. A couple smash bros and hit the road. Chas v'sholom. Not the sufganiya part. That's totally gewaldig. But I'm more of a latkes yid myself. If you ask me, sour cream, come on. In my house we have both, sour cream and applesauce, because even though my wife only grew up with applesauce, and then I brought her over to the side of light. And when she had sour cream, she's like, that's pretty good, actually. So, Baruch Hashem, we have both. We're very inclusive in our home. All the different latkes dips that you could want for all people. Everyone welcome. Inclusive, Baruch Hashem. What's a latkes? I'm so happy with us. I'm so happy. It's always the next holiday. A latkes, are we mamish making this like Hanukkah right now?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I have so many things in the Tanya to go through.
I thought we should just do what you're thinking about.
You got next week for Hanukkah.
We should devote next week to Hanukkah? Oh my goodness, there's so much though to do in Hanukkah.
So we need more time than we should start now.
So much to do for Hanukkah. So we'll give you one more nugget. A latkes, we'll give you a latkes nugget. A latkes is generally a potato that is then shredded. Add a little bit of salt. In my family, we put some sweet potato in there also. Yeah. Maybe a little zucchini, a little herb in there.
Fancy.
I don't mean herb. I mean like, you know what I'm saying? It's not edibles. It's not edible. They are edible, not edibles. And then Imamish get the little skillet out, the griddle, or what have you, and you put some olive oil. What kind of olive oil? Pure. Shemen zayzach. Pure olive oil. Good stuff. We have organic stuff that is grown by big tzaddikim here. If anybody wants, I've got a hookup. Very pure stuff. Very pure from the Holy Land. Olive oil. Nothing like pure olive oil. We even have a source of people when they press the olives, they press it in such a way, they remove the seed first, and therefore in the pressing there's no bitter tannins from the seed, and therefore that olive oil would be suitable to light in the Beis HaMikdash. Such oil is available. And when it comes to Hanukkah, everything that we do is mahadrin min mahadrin, is extra beautiful. Hanukkah is the holiday of beauty, everything is beautiful. And you take that kind of potato patty, and then you put it into the skillet, and you give it a light little olive oil on one side, fried up, whoop, next side, fry it up, put it on the plate, sour cream, applesauce, boirei pri ha'adama, Gan Eden. That's the sequence, my friends. That's the latkes. Why do we have it? Because everything about Hanukkah is centered around olive oil and centered around the miracle of oil And oil doesn't just mean oil. Oil means chachma. Oil is a code word for wisdom. Okay, everything in Torah is code. It's all secrets. So oil doesn't just mean oil. Wine doesn't just mean wine. Bread doesn't just mean bread. Salt doesn't just mean salt. These things mean different qualities. These things are rooted in different spiritual universes, the spheres. Colors are rooted in different places. Everything means something. So we increase exposure to olive oil. That doesn't mean that a person just should down donuts. That's just not a nice thing to do. But to have a little bit extra, yes, of pure olive oil is a very good thing. But to have one sufganiya, fine. If they want to have, my wife also makes like homemade donut, organic, geshmaka stuff. That's what I'm saying. And
What time are we coming?
okay, let's go, Rabbi Isai. I think Foundation is all booked up. I asked Rabbi Katz, he's like, the boys are busy. I was like, oh, I missed out. Okay, we're going to be partying by my Hanukkah all nights of Hanukkah. Yes.
I just read Drasha.
A drasha, yeah.
Yeah, that said lighting the Hanukkah, the menorah, is still the last real avodas that we can do from the Beit HaMikdash, right?
That's what it says. That Aleichem Haneros, that Aaron HaKohen, that he saw that he did not have a part in the offerings of the Nesiim, and Hashem said to him, do not worry, because yours will be greater than theirs. I will let you light in the Beis HaMikdash, in the Mishkan, you're going to light the menorah. You're going to light the candles. And yours will go on forever. So the Ramban says, what do you mean Aaron's service will go on forever? The temple was destroyed. They're not lighting the candelabra anymore in there. You know where it went? It went, the Romans took it. Titus's arch.
It's good.
That's right. So they took it. So how is Aaron still lighting the menorah? The answer is when a Jew lights Hanukkah candles, you are the priest inside the temple. Every one of you. You're going to be standing by your candles. You're going to be lighting 2 weeks' time. You are the high priest. You are Aaron at that moment. And you are lighting those candles. So his has gone on forever. So the Hanukkah candles are very, very big stuff. Mega things. Mega stuff. Okay, so we're going to make next week a Hanukkah week. Yeah? This is like a taste. Get a little bit of oil. a little shemen.
So when you come home from school and you smell, your mama spent all day making them, so this is like the waft.
That's right, the wafting of the latkes are gewaldic. Yes?
I'm just curious, can I ask another question?
Yeah, for sure. This is open forum here.
So, thank you.
By the way, that's one of the main things about yeshiva, is that a person comes to yeshiva, there's a feeling like this. This is about total participation. Everyone has a voice, and it's, we are supporters of the First Amendment. You could share your opinion, and you just have to be willing to defend it. That's an important thing. You have to be willing to defend because maybe something doesn't make sense. And therefore, everyone's welcome to share everything, and we want to hear people's opinions. But just be open to having to answer if other people have different opinions, and that's okay. Yes, my friend.
So you mentioned we all want our children to be tzaddikim and Talmud Chachamim badly, of course. So just curious, you mentioned the blessings that we would recite next to the Shabbos candles and the Hanukkah candles. So I'm just curious, what blessings are those, or where could we find those? Which specific?
If you look in the Siddur right after the lighting of the Shabbos candles, there's a famous tefillah that the women generally say. Men can also say it. We have a nice song that we sing. V'zakeini legadel. Right? Everybody knows that song. Banim uvnei banim. Bends into it. Chachamim unevavinim. Right? Oyavei Hashem yirei Elokim. Anshe yemes Zera koidish ba Hashem deveikim. Nidi la 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 la. You guys know the song, right? Nidi together, biyachad. Umeir mesavailam batoira masim toivim uvechol meleches avoida saboire Umeir mesavailam batoira masim toivim Uvechol meleches avoida saboire. That's a very beautiful song. I sing it to my kids every night before bed. That's right there in the Siddur. You're praying for your kids to be v'zakein legadol. Hashem, help me. Bonim uvnei vonim. I don't just want children. I want children and children and children. Grandchildren, great-grandchildren. I remember when Rabbi Dov asked Floyd, said, so, like, what are you going to do with all your, success? Like, what are you going to do with it? And he said,
Currency.
I'm into currency, not legacy. So he said, yeah, but your currency is not worth anything up there after this world.
Rabbi Dov to Floyd?
Yeah. As a back and forth. I think they, Rabbi Dober would have also taken him, toe to toe. And so he said, yeah, I stand by my statement. I'm about currency, not legacy. And then sure enough, the tzaddik of the generation, Rav Gamliel Rabinovich, comes to the yeshiva, right? Remember? And what is the first thing he says? He comes into the base medrash that day. It was random that he was in yeshiva. There was 300 people that were waiting to see him, but they got delayed on their flight, and then he comes in. And what happened? Rabbi Rasman says, come speak in the base medrash, and he comes to the base medrash, and he says, my father was orphaned when he was 9 years old. And from his mother, his father, and he grew, I think, at the age of 93, he passed away. And he left behind 1,500 living descendants, children, grandchildren. He said, myself, Baruch Hashem, I'm married 53 years to my wonderful wife. I have 1,000 children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. 1,000. He says, I have a friend who lived till 100 in Bnei Brak. 2,500 descendants.
It's like more than my high school. It's like 15 per person or something like that.
But once you get to grandchildren, it goes quick, because if everyone has 10 and then each of them have 10, it goes, at that point it starts pumping up, yeah. So he says, you're all about legacy. Kol echad ata elef. Every one of you is not just you, you're 1,000. So if anybody had doubts that Floyd Mayweather wanted to teach you that is his name Mayweather?
Yeah.
Wanted to tell us that it's all about currency and not legacy. Good thing we had the tzaddik, we had the great righteous sage of Gamliel come and yell at us. And I'm sure he didn't have any idea, at least consciously, that Floyd had come to the yeshiva to present that message. But we are all about legacy. What are you leaving behind? What are you building for the future? What are you building for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren? V'zakeini legadol banim uvnei banim oiskim ba'Torah v'mitzvahs. Or they spend their days not just playing video games, that involve in Torah and mitzvahs. Ume'irim misa'olam. And they bring light to the world with Torah and good deeds. Maisim tovim. You know what good deeds means? Everywhere that we go, we try to make Hashem beautiful. Everywhere you go. I was just in America for 4 days. Be extra nice. Everywhere you go. Try pleases, thank yous, holding the door open for people. A random gas station. I appreciate that, thank you. Anywhere you go, just be extra nice. Super nice. Make Kiddush Hashem everywhere. Maisim tovim. Maisim tovim. Give people, they need money, whatever. Just give, help, give to the world. Donate. Make someone's day by saying a good word to them. That's what we're into. So while you're lighting the candles, you know what's interesting about a candle? A candle's something that when it gives, we usually think, if I give my money, I'll have less money. Seemingly, right? Ask an accountant. You have $100 in the bank, give 10. Got 10 less. But you know what? On one level, it's true. But we know that Hashem really runs the world, and He set up a system where the more you give, the more you'll get. The more you give, when you give 10, how much do you have in your pocket? Not 90. You have 10. You have 10 now. There was a big tzaddik, I was talking about this in America with some of the Chevra over there. Some people who give a lot. They give millions of dollars a year to charity. Millions. They love investing in Torah, investing in seeing Hashem made beautiful in the world. So there was a tzaddik, and he had 2 hats. He had a hat that was like a very nice hat, like that he wore for chasanas, and he wore at weddings and very fancy events, like a very nice, beautiful hat. And he had another hat that was like his weekday one that was less fancy. And at one point, a poor person came to the door, and it was obvious that he wasn't, he was in need of not just money, but even just basic clothing and the like. And he asked the tzaddik, he asked the Rav, he said, Rabbi, do you have a hat? Like also that I could have? So he went and he immediately gave this poor man the fancy one. He gave him the nice one. So, which was a very nice gift. That was a very fancy hat. So his family members said, Rebbe, you also had like a simpler, basic weekday hat. Why didn't you give him that? Like, why didn't you hang on to the nice one? He said, I did hang on to it. Up there. Of course I have. Now I really have that one. I'll have that hat for eternity now. Good thing I gave that one away. Now I really have that one. You know what I'm saying? If I gave away the simple one, okay, up there I have a basic hat. But you give away the fancy one, you know what you're going to have up there? The more you give, the more, that's called legacy. You're building. And that's what I mean, that a candle, you usually think when you give something, you lack. No. When a candle gives its light, does it lose anything of itself?
It's wax.
It doesn't lose any light. The candle can keep going. The flame, you can keep making flames forever. The candle's not less of a candle. The flame can give and give and give and give. Can give. How do you keep the candle going? By the way, that's Torah and mitzvahs. That's the oil. That's the good stuff. You have to be running on something. You need mitzvahs. The light, though, the more you give, the more light you have. And then up there in heaven, all of that light is called you. That's why there's an organization, Ner LaElef, a concept, Ner LaElef, is that one candle can make 1,000 candles. And it doesn't lose anything. You don't lose. When you bring, and that's what it means that we're praying for our children, that we want to have thousands of children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, until Mashiach, forever. They're going to go forth and bring a light into the darkness of the world, to bring wisdom into the world, to share Hashem's Torah with the world, to light up the whole world. That's what it's all about. That's Mamish Hanukkah. That's the message of Hanukkah. And Hanukkah is beautiful. Hanukkah, even the word Hanukkah is Chaim, right? Chaim. Hanukkah is all about Chaim. Chaim means beauty. And you're davening that your children should go in a beautiful way, should be symbols of beauty. What's real beauty? Hollywood? Not so beautiful. It's a bit ugly, actually. Superficial beauty is very ugly. Whereas beauty is deep beauty. You know, it's interesting, a person could seemingly be very beautiful on the outside, like some, supermodel or whatever. But when you meet them and they have like a nasty personality, all of a sudden the outside becomes a little bit more ugly. What do you mean? But they're so beautiful. No, it's actually, something's off. And then you have somebody that's not so supermodel-y. But you know what? They're very nice and dignified, but their inside is so beautiful. The more you get to know them, the more physically they just become the most beautiful person in the world. You see, you look in their eyes, they're so beautiful, they're gorgeous. Hanukkah is all about that inner beauty starts shining out. Hanukkah is so beautiful. That's why it's just light one candle. It's very subtle. But you'll see that candle starts growing. The first day is 1 candle, 2 candles, 3 candles, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you know what? You think it stops after 8? It never stops. The candles are still burning of Hanukkah. They never stop. The mom is still burning. We'll talk a lot more about Hanukkah coming up. Yes, you go.
Is it interesting in the parsha that like when Yaakov saw Rachel, it's like he saw her, he recognized who she was, he wanted to marry her, that he loved her, and he saw that once he made the decision, he saw how beautiful she was. Like the true beauty came out after he made the commitment to her.
That's it. Yitzchak and Rivka is that, yes, there's such an idea, is that lightning bolts and fireworks and stuff like that is oftentimes just a infatuation. It's not real, it fades very, very quickly. But real love comes from giving to another person and developing a deep bond from giving. Okay, my friends, we should be Zaycha Mamish to be lighting the candles in the Beis HaMikdash. Amen. Amen. Kol Tov. This is, I guess, a taste of Hanukkah. Kol Tov.